or affirmation of citizenship. I swear or affirm that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II, Queen of Canada, her heirs and successors, and that I will faithfully observe the laws of Canada and fulfill my duties as a Canadian citizen. So fulfill my duties as a Canadian citizen. A Canadian citizen is a person who bears true allegiance to Her Majesty the Queen. So you are a subject, you are under obligation to serve Her Majesty the Queen and her heirs and successors. Now you are also, as a Canadian citizen, under subjection to fulfill the duties as her subject. You have to fulfill those duties. So, the government, her heirs and successors, the Queen herself, have made certain laws and regulations, and they say that you, as her subject, are under obligation to fulfill those duties to those laws. If I said the terminology Canadian citizen, and if it meant a man or a woman born into and onto this land, free and alive, well, I would be very proud to use that terminology, and I would carry that upon me, and I would, again, show forth that I am indeed a Canadian citizen. But when you understand in law that when you say I'm a Canadian citizen, you're saying that you are a subject and one who owes allegiance to Her Majesty. Just to say subject, you classify yourself as being something less than somebody else. That you're not worthy to be equal to Her Majesty or to her representatives, because you must be a subject to them. The right to citizenship, the Citizenship Act. Persons who are citizens. Subject to this act, a person is a citizen if A. The person was born in Canada after February 14th, 1977. Citizenship Act, Canada. Rights and Obligations. Article 6. A citizen, whether or not born in Canada, is entitled to all rights, powers, and privileges, and is subject to all obligations, duties, and liabilities to which a person who is a citizen under paragraph 3(1)(a) is entitled or subject, and has a like status to that of such a person. As a citizen owing allegiance to the Queen, you are her subject, and you are serving the Queen, and you are performing your duties for her. You may think that you are living, and you're living your life, and that you are free, but really you're not. That's the way they're controlling you. That's the way they're issuing you tickets and having laws erected that impart damage unto you, is because they say that you're performing duties for the Queen. And as such, you're subject, you have to be regulated and controlled. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights and Freedoms, Article 6, states that you don't have to be recognized as a legal person. Article 21 states that you don't have to be in servitude to the government, and Article 12 states that you have the right to privacy. You don't have to be arbitrarily interfered with, having to be this legal person. This is your right. These are your rights, because you are free. However, when you say that you're a Canadian citizen, you're not describing something that's free. Not at all. You're describing something that's very regulated and very controlled. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights and Freedoms, Article 12. No one shall be subjected to arbitrary interference with his privacy, family, home, or correspondence, nor to attacks upon his honor and reputation. Everyone has the right to protection of the law against such interference or attacks. Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 21. Everyone has the right to partake in the government of his country, directly or through freely chosen representatives. This is the whole issue. This is the foundational issue as to why the government can step in and interfere with your life, and why they can step in and arbitrarily cause damage to you. Because in the law, whether you believe so or not. In the law it states that you are a subject of Her Majesty and the government, and you are under the duties to perform for them whatever they require, because you've never said anything up to this point. You've never taken the acknowledgement that you are in fact a man or a woman, and not a subject being held in bondage to Her Majesty. It is really ridiculous and sad when you begin to understand and comprehend what's going on. Because why and who gives them the right, the monarchy, to say that we are their subjects and we must be held in servitude to them? No one. The Queen does recognize all these other charters and covenants, such as the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the social, economic, cultural rights. She recognizes these charters, and she does recognize that there are men and women, and the Magna Carta is very clear about that also. The fact that the Queen and her monarchy understand that there are men and women who are free men or free women, human beings who do not have to subject themselves in this way to her and be held in servitude. However, most of us don't even understand that we have that right. We just think that that's the way it is and we have no choice and we go with the flow and that's it. And, well, when you look at some fish, sometimes, they got to swim up the stream. And it's a lot easier for that fish to swim down the stream and not go against the current. But sometimes the fish got to go against that current. And when they go against that current, the reward at the other end is well worth it. It was worth the struggle up that stream. Maybe it was to go to spawn, to have babies and stuff like that. Citizenship Act, Article 9. Renunciation of citizenship. A citizen may, on application, renounce his citizenship if he d. is not prevented from understanding the significance of renouncing citizenship by reason of the person having a mental disability. Citizenship Act, Article 11. Resumption by application. The minister shall grant citizenship to any person who, having ceased to be a citizen, makes an application for resumption of citizenship. Without getting too much into detail here at YouTube, it's obvious in the Citizenship Act, it talks about the fact that you can renounce the citizenship. You can renounce it. And it also talks about the fact that once you renounce it, if you're not happy, you can ask to reinstate the citizenship. Not that that would ever happen if anybody actually understands what this awards you by doing this. Nevertheless, in the law, as you see, the operation of law is very clear. You can renounce it or you can ask to reinstate it. Now, it's worthwhile asking the question, if they put that in the law, what's going on? If everything is so great and so good here in Canada, well, why are they offering us the right to renounce our citizenship? And why are we learning that citizenship means that we are actually a subject in servitude to the Queen? You may not like it, you may not want to accept those titles and those designations, you may be getting mad at Canada, but it's true, that's what the law says. Walk around and say, I'm a Canadian citizen, I'm proud to be a Canadian citizen. You're saying, I'm someone who owes allegiance to the Queen. I'm under subjection to the Queen and all her servants, her other servants who are higher than me, because I'm a common servant, they can control me. Police force, court offices, stuff like that. That's what it means to be a Canadian citizen. Now when you start saying to yourself, I'm a man or a woman, or even you want to say the title, I'm a human being, you offer yourself a lot more freedom than recognizing yourself as a subject, a legal person to the Queen.